Hi, this is Sue Painter with Travel Changes Life. I get questions all the time about where should I go? What hotel should I stay in? What's the best way to plan a particular vacation? And after all, that's what I'm here for. I've traveled a lot and I'm willing to share with you what I know about planning trips. So I have an actual client right now and I'm helping them with picking a Caribbean getaway. And I thought what I would do is take you through exactly what I look at so that you would see the research and the things to think about when you're starting to think about where might you go for your next leisure travel. So I think about travel routes, and actually, that's one of the first things that I think about rather than destination. And here's why. Depending on how long you tell me that you have for your vacation, I want to make sure that it's a route that we can get you there quickly, or we're going to have to add time to your getaway if it's somewhere that there's a lot of connecting flights. And especially right now, as the flight map is still coming up and being added to and changing every day, that's a really important thing. So if you say to me, well, I live in Atlanta and I want to go to the Caribbean, I already know right away that there are a couple of islands that have direct flights from Atlanta, and that will serve you rather than having to go connect in Miami and waste half a day if all you have was a 4 day getaway anyway. So, travel route is something to consider. I also consider the time of year. Is it going to be hurricane season? If so, which of the islands are typically not in the hurricane pathway? Is it going to be spring break? If so, you know you're going to have to add 30 to 50% to your budget and you're going to have to book way in advance. What are the wish list? And there's a wish list and a must have list. Wish list is I wish I had it. Must have is I must have it. In this particular case, this is a couple who is in their mid 40s. They probably will take a couple of other couples with them. This is a break for next spring, but not during spring break, and they know that they want a really good beach and they want water activity. So that's what I'm looking at. They would like to have all inclusive, or as we call it in the travel industry, AI, but that's not a deal breaker. I know enough about the Caribbean to know that they'll have a lot better choices if they do not insist on AI. But if you do want AI, I'm probably going to point you toward the Caribbean areas of Mexico more than the Caribbean island nations themselves. We have to look at budget. Budget is not just for the hotel room. Budget has to include flight, ground transportation, or a rental car if you're going to get a rental car, your lodging, the resort fee at the lodging. And if it's not AI, then you need to factor in food. And in the Caribbean, food can be expensive, especially depending on what island you're on. Then from there, I start getting an idea of which destination I might recommend based on all these factors. And I go looking at resort reviews if there are resorts that I personally don't know, although I do know a lot of them. I subscribe to membership paid sites that are for travel agents where we can go and look at the details with honest evaluation from other travel agents about these sites, whether they're good, whether they're bad, the pros and cons of the property, if the beach is really good, if the beach is rocky, all those kinds of things. I also look at um, I also ask around with my friends on different travel agent forums because some people will specialize in things like the Caribbean. And I know I can get a quick read from them about a resort or a hotel that I'm thinking about for one of my clients. So I have access to that. I typically do not use TripAdvisor. I'm not a big believer in TripAdvisor. I know that many of the reviews there are from people who are not objective or even have been paid to put the review on, either bad or good. So TripAdvisor is not a place that I typically go look at all. Now, when you're ready to book, you can text me at 941. There's a mistake. It should be 941, not 914, 720-1842, or email me at sue@travelchangeslife.com. But I'm going to show you what my thought process is and what I have what I'm recommending to this particular couple based on what their wish list is, the time of year, the travel route, the budget, and all that kind of thing. So my top choice for this group is going to be Turks and Caicos, and that is because it has a really, really beautiful beach and a wonderful variety of water sports. And their big must have was a pretty beach. I also did not want to recommend Aruba or St. Lucie because I've already been there. I did not want to, they were not interested in the DR, Dominican Republic. They were not interested in Mexico. So that left me Caribbean island nations to look at. Now, as far as Turks goes, there's a really wonderful Ritz in Turks, but it's a really large property. And I know this couple well enough to know they probably like a more comfortable kind of Caribbean beachy feel, like not a big, huge property. So I probably would not recommend the Ritz to them. It's also a little bit above their budget. They would like kind of a 3+4 star budget level, but not a 5-star budget level. There is a newly refurbished Club Med in Turks, and that would be all inclusive, but I do know that their wine cellar is extra. So if these people are big wine drinkers, and they are, then that might not be the best option for them because it's not truly all inclusive and they could run up a pretty big bar tab. So I think about things like this. Now, Ambergris Caye is a little jewel of a property, or Ambergris Caye. If you want to have that one, I know that it's out of the way. It's at the very end of the island. So it's, if you want to be right in the thick of things, where there's more action, then Ambergris Caye is not for you. If you like being out with just the beach and kind of out away from everything, it might be a great fit. And then Beach House in Turks is all inclusive. It's a small property, but they have a 4-night minimum stay. And I'm not sure that this couple will do 4 nights. They might only be wanting to do 3 nights. Now, I am going to suggest to this couple and their friends that they will have more choices if they can drop the all-inclusive, the AI requirement, and just go with the good beach and the beach water, the beach activities. So here are my other recommendations. I really like Grand Cayman for them if they can drop the AI because there's not any AIs there. But it is a really good choice for the travel route because there's direct flights from Atlanta to Grand Cayman, and that will save them money and it will save them time. When you're traveling, time is money, especially if you're just doing a little long weekend getaway. My third option for them would be Antigua, and in that place, I would recommend Hammock Bay. My fourth choice would be some Sandals properties. I'm not big on Sandals. I don't think they're the best value for their money usually, but there is a good Sandals in Grenada. There's also a good Sandals in Barbados. And then at a little bit lesser budget, the Rui Palace in Jamaica is nice size, and that is all adult. They would like to have an all adult property, but you can go right next door to the Roy at Montego Bay if you want to have the bigger hotel and the entertainment at night. But I wouldn't stay there because it's a huge property and it's not an all adult property. Now, I love St. John's, and St. John's has fabulous beaches, but number one, there's no AIs, and number two, it is beautiful, but it is pricey. And I think they can probably get more bang for their buck elsewhere. So those are just some of the things that I think about when people talk to me and want me to help them pick out a place to go. It isn't just, oh, this place is having a special. That's often not the best reason to pick a place. It is really, what do they want? What do they want this vacation to feel like? Where have they been? What are those places like? Do they want something similar? Do they want something different? What are the flight routes? What's the budget, the time of year, and so forth? So there's a lot that goes into researching the best choices for you for a quick Caribbean getaway. But those are the things that run through my mind for this particular case. Now, if you told me you were traveling with family, you did not want all adult, you did not want AI, and you wanted it during the week of spring break because that's when your kids were off school, we would be having an entirely different conversation. So this really is tailored to the people I'm working with, and I make a real effort to find something that will speak to them for their particular trip. What I recommend to them would maybe not be what I would recommend to you or to someone else. So that's just a little bit of a peek inside to why I would pick these places in the Caribbean for this particular couple and the things that I factor in when I plan trips for people. If you want to contact me about helping you book your trip or plan your trip, you can reach me at sue@travelchangeslife.com or text 941 720-1842, 941. There's a mistake on the slide that I didn't catch. So this is Sue, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.